Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Road to Glory Master Ball rank. As you can see, we are sitting at 4 wins, 2 losses, and we moved up a whole tier. So we get to use a new team. As you can see, we brought some old members back from the previous team, but we have added some new ones. So as you can see, we have got the Amogus coming back with the Black Sludge. We've got the Tinkaton coming back with the Air Balloon. We've then added a Dragonite with the Weakness Policy. A new addition is the Iron Bundle as well with Focus Sash. Another new addition is the Volcarona with the Heavy Duty Boots. And last but not least, another new addition, Chi-Yu with the Choice Scarf. We decide to lead with the Weakness Policy Dragonite. That is followed up by the Black Sludge Amogus. And then last but not least, the Iron Bundle with the Focus Sash. Now, as I said at the start, we moved up a tier, so that means we get to make changes to this team. As you can see, we're using a new team. This is good, as long as we can get to the next tier, which I believe is the Great Ball tier. I could be wrong. Once we get to there, we can change up the team, so hopefully we can get that far. But as you can see, our opponent leads with the Clodsire, as we lead with the Dragonite. I have to say, Clodsire is one of the most memey Pokemon I've ever seen, but it is great. I love that thing. Look at that thing's little face. But anyways, we decided to go for the Dragon Dance, as this thing goes for a very predictable yawn. So we are now drowsy. Do I really want to risk having my Dragonite go to sleep? Probably not. So we then decide to swap into the Amogus. I thought at the time that this Clodsire won't be able to do too much to our Amogus, so that was probably the safest bet. And depending on what it has, I'm not too sure at this point. If it had Sap Zipper, if it had Water Absorb, I'm not too familiar with Clodsire. But we decided to go into the Amogus anyways and go for an Effect Spore. It does go for a Yawn, it does outspeed, which I was very surprised by, but we do get Yawn, so that is a forced swap out once again. But we do manage to get the Stun Spore off, which is great. So now Clodsire is paralyzed. Not that it was going to outspeed much anyways, but at this point I then decide to swap into the Iron Bundle. And again, at this point I don't know what this thing's ability is, so spare me in the comments. So as you can see, the stones dug into us, and luckily the Clodsire was paralyzed, which is great. You love to see it. I then decide to go for a flip turn, and I soon regret that, as I find out that this thing does indeed have Water Absorb. Yeah. Luckily it does get paralyzed again, which is good. But we then go for the Taunt, just in case it tries to go for any form of Yawn. So it falls for the Taunt, which is good. It then goes for the Toxic Spikes, which again is good because we went for the Taunt. And now we go for the Freeze Dry. Let's see how much this Freeze Dry can do. It does a decent amount of damage to this Clodsire. It does about half, which is good. It then goes for the Sludge Wave, which does indeed hit like a truck. But at this point, we might as well go for the Freeze Dry, but a little more powerful of a Freeze Dry. We decide to go for the Terrestrialization into an Ice type. Let's see how much this is going to do. I don't think that the Clodsire is going to live this personally, but let's just have a look. I know what the outcome is of this game. I don't know why I'm speaking as if I don't, but let's just see how much this does to the Clodsire. Freeze Dry from the Iron Bundle, Terrestrialization. How much is it going to do? It kills. That is good stuff. That is things you love to see, 100%. So we do manage to take down the Clodsire with the Terrestrialized Iron Bundle with a Freeze Dry. So our opponent then sends out their Dragonite, which is quite scary. Very, very scary. Especially if it decides to do what it does next, which is Terrestrialize. That Freeze Dry would have been obviously quite effective, but it's probably the best thing to do is Terrestrialize here. And probably go for a Dragon Dance if I was him. I would probably go for a Dragon Dance here and fully set up, because this Iron Bundle probably isn't going to be able to do a lot to this Dragonite, but it does opt for the Extreme Speed, taking out the Iron Bundle finally with a Stab Extreme Speed, and we're down to 2-2. It could be better. We could be doing better, but now this is a huge threat on the field and we don't really have anything for it. So we send our Amoonguss out, it gets hurt by the stones in the ground, but we decide to go for the Stun Spore. It does go for a Fire Punch, which does do a considerable amount of damage, but we do manage to get the Stun Spore off, slowing this thing down as much as possible. Now it obviously does have the stab priority extreme speed, which can be very, very scary, but we are okay in this situation. We then decide to go for a Giga Drain with the Amoonguss just to try and get some HP back. It does go for the stab extreme speed, doesn't get paralyzed, and we hang on with 2 HP. We manage to get the Giga Drain off, which does literally nothing to this thing. So we gain back around 9 HP. Then the Black Sludge obviously activates, so we get a bit more HP from that. So we really need this thing to be paralyzed this turn, just to get a foul play off. That would be brilliant. Probably should have foul played the last turn, but it is what it is. It then goes for an extreme speed, taking out the Amoonguss. It is now 2-1 to our opponent. This is looking a bit scary right now. Dragonite, if you do not have anything for it, is very, very scary. And considering what's about to come out, our very own Dragonite, it's not looking good, because this thing is a normal type now with a possible dragon type move, which is super effective against us. So again, very, very scary. Let's see what our opposing Dragonite does as we go for the Dragon Dance. It goes for the Outrage. That should be an Oko, if I'm honest, and it is. So unfortunately, we do lose the very first battle of this episode, but will we fare better in the next battle? Let's hop right into it. And we are back with the next battle, obviously using the very same team, but our opponent has got their very own Dragonite, a Batcalibur, a Dondozo, a Mimikyu, an Annihilate, and a King Gambit. This is going to be tough, but we decide to lead with the Volcarona with the heavy duty boots, alongside the Amoonguss with the Black Sludge, and finally we decide to bring the Iron Bundle, as you can see. So that is our 3 mons for this battle. Will we fare better than the first battle? Who knows? We shall see. Hopefully we get a better start than last time, because last time was not great with that Clodsire. But let's hop right into the game. Let's see who our opponent is going to lead with. Again, an opponent's name that I cannot pronounce, unfortunately, but if for some miracle you are watching this video, thank you for a very good battle. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope everyone else is having a good day. Just thought I'd put that up there. Put that out there anyways. But we start with the Volcarona as he leads with the Annihilate. Now we obviously have a super effective psychic type move here, but we decide to go for the Quiver Dance straight away as he goes for the Stealth Rocks, which it seems to be a very good move in competitive. It always has been, but I've noticed it a lot more playing Scarlet and Violet, that hazards are a big part of winning in the competitive scene. But at this point we decide to terrestrialize and go for a Fire Dance with the Volcarona. Maybe could have played this where, you know, I get another Quiver Dance off. We could have done that, but for those of you who don't know, Fiery Dance has a 50% chance of raising your special attack, so I thought why not go for that. Our speed is up a little bit, so might as well get the special attack up a little bit more. So we go for the Fiery Dance. How much is this going to do to the Annihilate? A considerable amount of damage, about 2/3 near enough. It decides to go for the Fling, so it flings its Light Ball at us, which nullifies our Quiver Dance really, because we then get paralyzed. So although our special attack is up from the Quiver Dance, our speed is back down and then some. But we decide to go for the special, the super effective Psychic. Let's see how much this is going to do to the Annihilate. Unless the Annihilate withdraws like it does, who is our opponent going to go into? Let's have a look. Who is going to be able to take this Psychic type move? So next up is Dondozo, which is a great switch from our opponent. How much is a Psychic going to do? That's a crit as well. Not a lot of damage. Not a lot of damage there at all, but we decide to go for the Stab Bug Buzz, see how much we can do. We do outspeed somehow, which is incredible, but we do get the Bug Buzz off. Takes it down to the orange. Now let's see what the Dondozo is going to go for. Its berry does activate, which again is very annoying for us, considering how much we did damage-wise, but it does go for the Wave Crash, and that takes us out completely. There was no way we were living that from a Dondozo. And down goes the Volcarona. It is now 3-2, technically, to our opponent. And we're in a bit of a sticky situation here. We decide to go into the Iron Bundle with the intent of going for a Freeze Dry to finish this thing off. We are obviously going to outspeed, but as you can see, the stones dig into the Iron Bundle. We go for the Freeze Dry. Will the Dondozo stay out, or will it switch? Let's find out. We do get the Freeze Dry off, and the Dondozo does go down, so it's now 2-2. This is looking okay. It's not the best of times for us, but it's okay. I much rather would have had the much rather want the Volcarona to have been alive and to do a lot more in this battle, but again, it is what it is. We move. Our opponent then sends out its Annihilate, which is again in the orange, and we go for a Hydro Pump. You would think that this would kill, so let's have a look. Will the Annihilate live? Yes, it does. It lives on probably about 5 HP, maybe even less. Decides to go for a Rage Fist and completely demolishes the Iron Bundle. Annihilate can be very, very scary. I've definitely noticed that whilst playing competitive in Scarlet and Violet. So if you want a startup team, definitely get yourself an Annihilate on the team. It's very fun to use. That's what I would suggest. But Amoonguss is our very last Pokemon. We decide to go for the Giga Drain, but not before this Annihilate goes for a Rage Fist, doing extremely good damage to us. We do get the Giga Drain off and manage to get a small amount of HP back, probably around 4 to 5 HP, and then our Black Sludge will also activate, giving us a little bit more HP for whatever opponent our opponent is about to send out next. Who will it be? Pretty sure we haven't seen this one in this battle, so let's have a look. Who's going to be sent out? So, our opponent sends out Baxcalibur, which, if you know your type matchups, which I'm sure a lot of you do, is not great for us. This is obviously an Ice Dragon type against a Grass type. They decide to go a little bit overkill with the Terastallization. Here they go. Not too sure what the typing was. It was a Ground type Terastallization, which I'm not sure if that's good for Baxcalibur. I think it is, actually, thinking about it. That's not a bad Terra type for it. So it does go for the Icicle Spear, and we just get absolutely destroyed by it. And that is the game, set, and match. So unfortunately, no wins this week, guys, unfortunately. But we will come back stronger next week. Trust me. I know the game's ahead, and we do much better. Just stay tuned for it. If you are enjoying this series, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. But I will see you in the next one. Bye.